Hello everyone and welcome to our training today. Today we're diving into 7 vendors that you can use to build business credit for your EIN that's not linked to your Social Security number. So by the end of this training, you're going to know exactly how to get approved for at least 7 vendors who can help you build initial business credit for your EIN that's not linked to your Social without a personal credit check and without a personal guarantee. So let's dive in. We've got a lot to cover today. So what we're going to dive into today is 2 proven ways to establish initial business credit, to establish your initial business credit profile and score. We're also going to talk about 7 vendors who can help you establish initial business credit. Now, these vendors, you don't need personal guarantees. You don't need personal credit checks. There's ways around both of those. And in today's training, I'm going to teach you exactly how to get around guarantees and credit checks to get those vendors. How anybody can get a high limit revolving corporate credit cards with no personal guarantee or credit check. And here's what I mean by that. If you own a business, you can get approved for what I'm about to show you today. Your personal credit doesn't matter. Your revenue doesn't matter. The collateral that you have doesn't matter. None of those kind of things matter. All that matters is following the right steps to actually go through and get approved. And today I'm going to decode exactly what those steps are. We're going to talk about how to get retail credit cards, fleet credit cards, Visa card, MasterCard, or what I call cash credit, even auto financing for your EIN that's not linked to your Social. It all starts with building initial credit, and I'm going to give you the vendors today to know how to do that. We're also going to talk about how to get approved for up to $150,000 in credit lines that we call our credit line hybrid, and use that to actually start your initial business credit profile. So it's actually a shortcut if you don't want to use vendors, or you can use this on top of vendors. But a lot of people actually use this shortcut to bypass vendors altogether, but they don't even need vendors. They can just start building business credit with real cash credit. So we're going to dive into that today as well and talk about everything there. So a lot of people tuning in. We've got a live webinar today and a live on YouTube. So I will try to see a lot of people coming in saying hello Robert, thanks for saying hi. Hey Sharonda, everybody, thanks for saying hi. So at the end I will make sure that all of your questions are answered as well. A lot of what you're going to have questions on I will cover today, so I'm going to go ahead and make it through, and then I will make sure that I get to anybody's questions on the end. So if you're on the webinar, hey DeAndre, I think I said that right. So hopefully everybody is doing well today. So let's dive in. So if you're staying at the end of this webinar, you're going to receive a playback of this event. You're going to get 30 days of business credit monitoring of your Experian business credit report, value of $49. You're also going to get 30 days of business credit monitoring with Dun & Bradstreet, and we're going to actually give you a no-cost business credit consultation with one of our experts to talk about next steps, to talk about how tips and tactics to build business credit, to do a free search to see if you're set up with the business credit reporting agencies. I'll talk to you at the end about how to get all of this at absolutely no cost, so we'll do that as we get ready to wrap up today. So look, are you in the right place? Well, this is for you if you're looking to get money to grow your business, if you've been denied financing or think that you are going to get denied financing, if you want the easiest and fastest way to capital, I'm going to get you that path to the easiest and fastest way to get money for your business. If you want your business to fund itself, this is ultimately what business credit does. We're building a credit profile today for your business. We're then going to use the credit profile that we build to then go out and get you all kinds of credit. So the credit profile we build is what qualifies you for the credit. So you're literally using your business to fund itself. Okay, and we're also going to be talking about how to get the blueprint to get away from personal guarantees. There is a certain set of steps that every large company follows where the business owner doesn't have to have a personal guarantee. I'm going to map out that blueprint for you today so you can literally copy, like swipe the exact blueprint that big companies use to get their owners away from guarantees. And if you're looking to get the most money and the best terms, we're going to be talking about that as well today, because business credit is a huge driving factor in how much money you'll get approved for and the rates and terms you'll pay. So how expensive the money is that you get, how much money you'll get, is determined in large part based on your business credit quality. So that being said, we're going to dive in and decode all of that for you today. So for those who don't know me, my name is Ty Crandall. I am actually the author of Business Credit Decoded and Perfect Credit as well. I've been featured on Entrepreneur Inc. and Forbes, amongst many others. So I have a lot of experience in this. So far, we've helped about 40,000 people build business credit. So I'm only telling you this because I don't want you to think that I don't know what I'm talking about. I have a lot of experience. This is not theory today. Okay, literally, this is actually what we execute for our clients every day. So a little bit of stats just so you know about us. About 40,000 business owners we've helped with this process. Best entrepreneurial company in America in 2018 by Entrepreneur Magazine. 1,091 on the Inc. 5000. Still hard to believe. One of the fastest 1,000 growing companies in the country. And we've got tons of positive reviews, hundreds online, A+ rated with a BBB, a lot of other things. So if you want to know more about us, visit us online, creditsuite.com, or you'll find a lot of information about us. I only tell you this just so you know that we have the information and we have the experience that we need to be able to talk about this today. So for all of those that are coming in, and I'm just checking on the webinar, looks like everything's going to go good on YouTube, but if you can go ahead and if you could see my screen and hear my audio on the webinar, go ahead and give me a yes just to let me know. So if you can hear my audio okay, if you can see my screen okay, just say yes. Okay, so some people are saying they're having audio and video issues, but just to let you know, I have at least, they're still pouring in. Okay, everybody, I'm good. I have like 40 yeses so far. So if you have audio and video issues, check your PC, but it looks like everybody's receiving okay on my end. And we've also been featured on hundreds of radio shows, TVs, podcasts. We contribute for Forbes. We contribute for Entrepreneur. So like I said, we have a lot of experience in this area. So let's talk about building business credit. Having the EIN doesn't mean you have established business credit. It does not mean that your business is necessarily fundable. Okay, so if you go to a bank and try to start this process at a bank, then I'll tell you exactly what's going to happen. You are going to get denied always. And a lot of people come into my business credit training and then they try to go to their bank and they try to just get approved for credit cards without a personal guarantee and without a credit check. It doesn't work that way. If you go down that path, you will get denied. There is a series of steps that you must follow to get around or to be able to do this the right way. Okay, the only exception is if you have good personal credit. If you're using good personal credit, well then there's all kinds of shortcuts. And I'll talk to you today about shortcuts where you can get credit earlier in the process and provide a guarantee if you want to. But the bottom line is if you go to your bank and start with your bank, then you're going to get denied guarantee. There's a series of steps that you must follow to be able to get Visa card, MasterCard credit from most banks without a personal guarantee and without a personal credit check. And there's a lot of people that fail in this process because many people are trying to go to their banks first and then get turned down. A lot of others apply for accounts in the wrong order. They're going to Amazon to start building business credit, or they're going to get a Visa card or get a car with Ally Financial. There's a series of steps you've got to follow for this to really work. A lot of people don't even know about vendors. Most don't even know even 7 vendors. A lot of people don't even know 3 or 4 vendors that are out there, so they don't know how to start initial business credit profiles and scores. A lot of people have questions, they don't know where to turn. Okay, a matter of fact, a lot of people rely on rookies who are also learning. So we have a group with about 30,000 people in it that help each other build business credit. And it's an interesting group because I can tell you that about 70% of the information that's passed back and forth is wrong. It's inaccurate. And somebody once chimed in and tagged me and said, Ty, why don't you correct all this inaccurate information? And I'm like, literally, there are thousands of posts taking place every day and 70% are inaccurate. I would have a full-time job just trying to correct the inaccurate information. So a lot of people are failing because they're trying to learn from other rookies that don't know what they're doing as well. These are some of the biggest problems of why we see people not succeed with a process that I'm about to show you how to actually succeed. Okay, so how business credit's built? Well, first, you've got to build trade lines that report to the business credit reporting agencies. These could be vendors, and I'm going to talk to you about vendors today. I'm going to give you the vendors. You've got to get credit with people that report to the business credit reporting agencies, and these are referred to as trade lines. So if I go get an account with Amazon, and I pay Amazon, and Amazon reports to my business credit reporting agency on my corporate credit, and I pay the bill, and Amazon reports it, they report as a trade line. Now I have Amazon reporting a trade line on my business credit report. Now what happens then is that establishes a credit profile, and from there that gives me a credit score based on how I pay the bills. Now I will say these 3 things again and again and again in every single webinar that I do about business credit because they're 3 of the most important things you need to understand about this process. You have to get initial credit that reports. That gives you a credit profile. Then if you've paid your bills as agreed, you also have a good credit score. Now we're using the established credit profile and score as a foundation to then build off of to get the kind of credit that we want. So it's these 3 things: the trade lines, they give you the profile, they give you the score, they give you the base of what you need to build off of to actually get the credit without the guarantee and the credit check. Now, with an established business credit profile and score, then you can start getting retail credit and cash credit. So let me give you an example. If you only have 2 accounts reporting with Dun & Bradstreet, well, then you got the trade lines, and that could give you a credit profile. But they won't even issue you a Paydex business credit score unless you have 3 accounts. So again, you've got to have all 3 of these. You've got to have the trade lines that give you the profile, that give you the score in order to move on to the kind of stuff that you want to get, the Visa card, the MasterCard, the auto financing, all those other kind of opportunities out there that are there for you once you build your initial business credit. So a lot of benefits here. You're getting approved for what I'm going to show you today without a personal credit check. So your personal credit quality doesn't matter. So I'm always skeptical when somebody tells me that I can get any kind of money without my personal credit being a factor. So let me explain why this is possible. We are building a credit profile for your business. We are then going to tell credit issuers we're not willing to give access to our personal credit. We're going to force them to pull our business credit profile, see that it's established, see that we have the trade line, see that we have the profile, see that we have the good score, and make the lending decision based on that instead of personal credit. This is why personal credit quality doesn't matter, because when we do it right, we're not even letting them look at our personal credit report. And that also means there's no inquiries on our personal credit reports. Now, this is why this is so important, because one inquiry can cost you $25,000 to $30,000 worth of funding. I'm going to teach you about a program later called the Credit Line Hybrid. One inquiry could cost you $25,000 worth of funding with that program. Inquiries in the business world are really important when it comes to loans and credit lines. And if you want to get max funding, which is always my goal, to get you the maximum funding you can get, you need to really limit your personal inquiries. I treat my personal inquiries like gold. I don't let anybody pull my personal credit report unless it's for a very specific purpose, typically related to getting capital. So you need to protect those inquiries, and you don't want to use your inquiries up when you're applying for credit cards to fund your business, when you could use this process and get away from inquiries altogether. Now, there's also no personal guarantee. You're not personally liable for what happens with your business debt. So a lot of us are going through coronavirus, right? And a lot of us are adversely affected, but all of us are going through it. A lot of us are adversely affected. Well, the first company I owned was a mortgage company, and I made this mistake. I guaranteed debts for the business in my personal name. Then the mortgage crisis happened. I was a mortgage broker. The whole thing fell apart. I defaulted on my business debts, and they literally came into my personal bank accounts and they cleaned them out. So for example, we had a business credit line with Bank of America. When we defaulted on that, Bank of America came to my personal bank accounts and cleaned them all out. Even though I had checks written against the money that was in there, they cleaned it all. All the checks bounced. It was a complete nightmare. So my ability to recover was ruined because, again, they took every bit of personal cash that I had. This is why we've got to get away from personal guarantees. If I would have known about business credit then, what I would have done was done this process I'm showing you, would have been able to get the credit without the guarantee, and they could have come after the business's debts, but the business was ending anyways, and they would have had to leave my personal assets alone. So actually, they could have come after the business assets, but not the personal assets. Bottom line, they would leave my personal assets alone. That is my goal for you. Now, the limits on these accounts are very high per SBA. They're about 10 to 100 times higher than consumer credit. So if you have credit challenges now, you're probably used to $500,000 credit limits. You're going to start here with $1,000 to $2,500 limits. What I'm going to show you today is how to get $1,000, $2,500 limits immediately. That's where you're starting. And then if you're doing what I'm showing you, then in about 60 days, you're able to start moving up to $5,000 limits. And in about 90 to 3 to 4 months, 90 to 120 days, you're moving up to $20,000, $30,000 limits. I mean, in 6 months, you could easily get individual accounts with $30,000 to $50,000 limits. Now, when I say that, it sounds absurd. It sounds crazy to so many because so many are used to personal credit. We're not used to having $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 limit credit cards wherever we go. But if you think about it, your business has a greater appetite for money than you do as a consumer. And I always use the same example. You may never need to spend $10,000 at Dell on home computers, but you very well could need to do that for a business. So these limits are really high because these credit issuers know that if you're a business and you're smart enough to apply for corporate credit and know the path, that they're going to award you for high limits because they know that you need to spend a lot more money as a business than you do as an actual person. You can get credit very quickly. I'm going to show you how to do it quickly, and I'm going to show you how to do it without your cash flow, credit, or collateral even mattering. Okay, don't even matter. And separate reports from your consumer commercial. If you look at Score, if you look at Forbes, if you look at Inc., if you look at entrepreneur, SBA, every authority in this space says the same thing. You need to build commercial credit because you've got to separate consumer and commercial credit. One of the biggest mistakes I see people make, I always correct myself with this, the biggest mistake that I see business owners make, not one of, but the number one, is that they get into business, they think it's going to cost less than it does, they think they'll start making money faster than they will, they put their business on consumer credit cards, they max out those consumer credit cards and ruin their ability to use their consumer credit scores to get other kind of financing. This is why you've got to separate consumer and commercial credit. The limits on consumer cards aren't high. They're not designed to fund a business. Utilization is 30% of your consumer credit score. So if you're using personal credit to fund your business, the problem is you're going to crush your consumer credit scores if you haven't already. Then you're going to look for help. You're doing it the wrong way. What we want to do is build a commercial credit profile for your business, then start using that to fund your business, leave your personal credit and your credit card limits alone, and then let you use your personal credit in cases you need to, like to get really high limit credit lines and loans that you can get outside of building business credit. So bottom line, use your business credit profile and score to get the credit cards, the auto financing, all that stuff you need, and then leave your personal credit in place for other things that are more important that you may need, like SBA loans, for example. It also establishes your credibility for lenders, suppliers, credit issuers. Okay, because again, what happens is business credit is public information. A lot of people don't know this. I can't go get your consumer credit profile without your permission. It's called permissible purpose per a law called the Fair Credit Reporting Act. The problem is the Fair Credit Reporting Act doesn't apply to businesses. So that means anybody can get your business credit reports if they want to. If I go to Dun & Bradstreet right now and try to get a credit report, the first question they ask is, do I want a question for my business or for somebody else's? So anybody can look at your business credit reports. How many trade lines you have, how you pay your bills, okay, how many employees you have, the revenue you have, the profits you have, all that stuff is publicly available on your business credit reports. So this is one of the reasons you really want to control your commercial credit profile. And again, as I mentioned, there's no collateral requirements, there's no cash flow requirements, there's no credit requirements, all reasons that building business credit is very, very, very important, okay? So I often say that you need one of these 3 C's to get money: cash flow, credit, and or collateral. If you don't have one of those, cash flow, credit, or collateral, you can't get most loans and credit lines. But you can still build business credit having none of those 3 things. It's one of the only ways that you're able to get money. And if you're a high-risk industry, if you're a startup, everything I'm going to show you today still applies. You can still get this even if you're in a high-risk industry, even as a startup. Now, little break. Our phone number is on the bottom of our slides, 877-600-2487. You can also schedule time with us at creditsuite.com/consult. So if you have questions along the way, give us a call. We will meet with you for free. We will get you your business credit reports for free. We will do a free search with the reporting agencies to see if you're already established. We will do a funding analysis to see how fundable you are now and to actually talk to you about the funding you can get now. We'll do a fundability check to check your information against Secretary of State and other places lenders look to see how fundable your businesses, all at no cost. So if we can help you anywhere during this process, just take a quick snapshot of our phone number or website. You can either schedule a consult or give us a call, and we can talk to you more about that as well. Okay, so why don't you want to give a personal guarantee? Well, as I mentioned, banks try to minimize their risk by having you personally guarantee your business debts because what they want to do is they want to come after your personal assets if they can. Okay, if you're a guarantor, then what happens is they can come after your personal assets. They will target your personal assets. I spoke about this on stage once, and I'll never forget this woman that came up to me in tears because she was so upset because she worked for a collection agency, and she started telling me all these stories of where they went after people's personal assets because they defaulted on the business debt. She felt personally bad and ended up quitting that company because she saw it happen again and again. What they will do is they will go after wherever the most money is. It's the same as insurance companies. Like when somebody gets into a car accident, the person that sues everybody because they're going after wherever they can get the money from. It's the same thing in the business world. If you default on a business debt, they want to take your business assets. They want to take your personal assets. They want to go after all the assets that they can get. Okay, so your vehicles, your house, your stocks, your bonds, your bank accounts. And I hand raised, the reason I'm talking to you about this today is I actually had this happen, as I mentioned. They literally took all the money from my personal bank account because I defaulted on a business debt. So they will come after all of your personal assets and they can seize those personal assets to pay your business debts, which is not what you want. Now here's one of our clients, Josh, and here's kind of the other side of success of this. This is what happens when you build business credit. And he's a shining example, probably one of my best testimonials of somebody that gives you an idea of what is in store for you when you go through this process. So per Josh, one thing that's beautiful about Credit Suite is that you start with baby steps. The first thing we did is get a couple of revolving credit lines and store credit that then we graduated to gas cards. I'm going to show you how to do all that today. Then we ended up getting a very nice line of credit with Amazon, and then we worked our way up to getting a very, very nice SBA loan. By the way, his SBA loan he used to fund his business to $1 million plus within a year after getting that money. Thanks to Credit Suite, we are able to really get our business finances in order from what looks good to potential lenders and potential creditors, and we became very attractive to lenders. The best options are always available to those who have their credit game locked down, and that's what Credit Suite platform allows you to do. We've been able to make smart investments in staffing, marketing systems, sales systems, product development, and all these things because Credit Suite we really couldn't do. I just don't have to stress as much because we've got money in the bank to take advantage of the opportunities. I'm not as stressed anymore. I can keep a bank account that's plenty of cushion in there, and that cushion just honestly it makes me a better dad and makes me a better husband because I'm not stressing out. And that's per Josh. And I love this, my favorite testimony, because as a father, this is exactly how I feel. When I have money in the bank, when I have revolving credit available to me, I'm just not stressed. But when I get stressed is when I run out of money in the bank, personal or business side, and I start maxing out my credit cards or revolving credit. So if you're on that other side, the answer, and this is what I've learned in business, there's rarely a problem in business that money and communication can't solve. I don't think there's any. To date, I've never found a problem that either money and or communication has not been able to solve. But again, whether it be lawsuits, whether it be coronavirus, whether it be, the mortgage crisis, no matter what you're up against, when you have money in the bank and access to revolving credit, it just makes you better at what you do, a better business owner, a better husband, a better mother, a better father, okay? Because again, you just don't have as much stress, and that's why I want to show you what we're going to talk about today. So there's two ways to establish initial business credit, as I mentioned. The first is using vendors, getting credit with vendors, trade vendors who will give you credit even when you have none now, okay? The second is we're going to talk about actually using your credit to qualify as well. Now with vendors, your cash flow, your credit, your collateral, none of that matters. None of it will affect your ability to get approved. But for this to work, you've got to use vendors who report to the business credit reporting agency. So there's two specific things we look for when we look for vendors. One, they need to report to the business credit reporting agencies. Dun & Bradstreet, Experian, Equifax, those are the three major reporting agencies, Experian, Equifax, and D&B. So we need to get credit that reports to them. That's the first criteria. The second criteria is we need to get credit from credit issuers who will give us credit even if we have no credit on our reports now. That's the hard thing because a lot of credit issuers don't report. Over 97% of vendors don't report to the reporting agencies at all. Okay, and the other problem is a lot of the ones that do report won't give you initial credit if you don't already have any credit established. Now, a second option to build business credit, the second way to get initial credit is a shortcut. Okay, and this shortcut helps you use Visa cards and MasterCards that you do personally guarantee to actually get approved. You're able to get up to $150,000 in real credit lines and use those to help build your business credit. Fantastic way to go. Really expedites business credit building because the first accounts that hit your credit report are $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 limit accounts. So it really expedite your business credit building, and we call this the credit line hybrid, and I'm going to talk to you about both today. So let me talk to you first about the credit line hybrid. This is the shortcut way to build business credit outside of vendors, and then we're going to spend the rest of the time talking about vendors. Now with this program, you're able to get up to $150,000 in credit lines with 0% interest rates for 6 to 18 months. Some will go 6 months, some will go 12, some will get 18 months, but it gives you up to a year and a half where you do not have to pay any interest on those accounts. It's no doc. So unlike SBA's credit lines, which they call cap lines, you don't need tax returns and balance sheets and income statements and bank statements and merchant account statements, and you don't need any of that. You don't need any kind of financial documentation. Now, why that's important is that if you're a startup, you can still get approved here. But if you're a business that's, for example, adversely affected by an economic condition like the coronavirus and your revenues decline, it won't adversely affect your ability to get approved. When it's no doc, it expedites, it makes it faster because you're not providing documentation. And even if your revenues have declined, you can still come in and get approved. Now, you could take cash out of these at 0%. That's why we call it a hybrid program. You get the benefit of credit cards because you get 0% rates for 18 months. You get the benefit of a credit line because you could take the cash out. And when you combine them, you're able to take the cash out at 0%, which means I could get 150,000 of credit lines. I could take all the cash out and take the cash out at 0% and use it for up to 18 months. So it's a hybrid of the best benefits of credit cards and credit lines. You can get approved as a startup. If you don't have good credit, you can use a credit partner to get approved. You don't have any collateral or cash flow requirements, and you're usually getting about 5 to 8 credit lines. Now, what's nice about this is a lot of these report to the business credit reporting agencies. So the way this program works is that you're going to get 2 pre-approvals. So let's say you give us a call, 877-600-2487. You say, hey, my name is Bob. I just saw Ty on this webinar. I talked about this credit line hybrid. I have a 690 credit score. Looks like I could qualify. Want to apply? Well, then what's going to happen is we're going to send you to the funding source, and they're going to pre-approve you within typically 24 hours, oftentimes same day. No hard inquiry on your credit report. They're going to do a soft inquiry. Nobody will even see the inquiry on your credit report because, again, those inquiries are very important. Okay, now what's going to happen is we're going to get you to the funding source. The funding source is going to give you 2 pre-approvals. They're going to give you one, what we call max funding. And this is personal and business cards. Both 0%, both you could take cash out on, but some report to the personal consumer reporting agency, some report to the business reporting agencies. Or you could say, I don't want max funding, I want less funding, but I only want business credit reporting accounts. And then in that case, they will only go to get you business credit reporting accounts. So you have a choice. But either way, you're getting about 5 to 8 credit lines. Some of them will report to the business credit reporting agencies. The others are called standard cards, so they will report to the consumer reporting agency. So again, you have a choice. So you also can roll the fee in. The lender and the funding source on this charges about a 12% rate. And our clients typically get in about 9.9, so they get you about 20% discount for being our client. And then the fee they charge you is charged at the end, and they roll it in. So they ultimately will roll in their fee just like an SBA loan. You don't have to actually come in with a large deposit or money out of pocket to actually get approved. So this credit line hybrid is a great way to jumpstart your business credit building because what you're doing is you're saying, look, I have good credit. You need good credit to get this, a 680 or higher FICO score. Now, if you don't have a 680 FICO score, remember, you can use a guarantor. You can use a family member, a friend, you can use a potential investor, whoever may let you use their credit to qualify. So let's say I go to my dad and my dad says, yeah, man, I'll help you. So I'm using dad's credit. I get these credit lines. Now, the only way dad is harmed is if I actually default, if I don't pay the bill. If I pay the bill on these credit lines, none of it reports on dad's credit report. Remember, if I got the business accounts, they help me build my business credit and I get the credit lines, and dad's only adversely affected in this example if I were default on that credit. Okay, so it's a great way to use the credit of yourself or a guarantor to get approved. And if you do this, then you're getting 5+ accounts that start reporting on your business credit reports and help you with your initial credit trade lines, your initial credit profile, your initial credit score, all based on very high limit cash accounts. So it jump starts the business credit building. Great way to go if you have good credit or a guarantor that does. Now, how much money you'll get approved for, okay, how many credit lines you'll get are based on factors like how many inquiries you have on your personal credit card credit report now, what's your utilization, how high is your highest credit limit. So I'm not saying everybody gets 150,000. How much you get is based on those things, your inquiries, your utilization, and your highest credit limit account. Now, if you want to know how much you can get approved for, there's no hard inquiry on your credit report. All you have to do is give us a call or schedule a consult. And again, that's on the bottom of all of our slides. So now there's the second option, right? So when we start with vendor credit, okay, you're not going to get a Visa or MasterCard right away. I showed you that option. That's the credit line hybrid. The credit line hybrid, we're getting Visa card, MasterCard. We're providing a personal guarantee. We're providing a personal credit check. We have good credit. We're using the credit of ourselves or a guarantor to get approved. That's option 1. Now, option 2 is using vendors to build business credit. And with this, you're not going to get Visa card or MasterCard cash credit right away. Okay, you're going to start with vendor credit instead. You're going to get trade lines with credit issuers who will give you initial credit even when you have none, and that will then report that credit to the reporting agencies. Okay, now, a lot of them will typically offer terms like net 30. So that means that whatever you were borrowing, you'd have to pay back within 30 days. Okay, so for example, if I'm coming in and I'm borrowing, $1,000 on a net 30 account, then I'd have to pay that $1,000 back in its entirety in 30 days. So remember, there's revolving accounts where I put $1,000 on there, my balance is $1,000. They let me pay a minimum payment of like $15 a month until I pay off the entire balance. Okay, then there's the second option, and the second option is a net 30 account. A net 30 account gives me, for example, 30 days to pay back that balance in its entirety. If I put $1,000 balance on the account, I have to pay the $1,000 back within 30 days on a net 30 account. Now, that is on 30 days. Now, net 60 could be paid back in 60 days. A net 55 needs to be paid back in 55 days. A net 15 is 15 days. You get the idea. Okay, there's accounts that go all the way to net 60, they're probably even longer. But typically what we see is net 55 or net 60 accounts are the longest payback terms that we typically see on these. Now, for everybody coming in, I got a lot of people on the webinar, a lot of people on YouTube, and a lot of you are going to have questions. I promise I will get your questions answered. I'm going to stay at the end, make sure your questions are answered. But I'm going to wait to the end because a lot of the questions you have that I'm seeing coming in, we're already going to talk about. We're already going to address. I already have them answered as we move forward. And that way the people that are just here for the information can get the information, and the people that then have questions after can then stay and have those questions answered. So just to let you know, I'm not ignoring you. I am going to get all of your questions answered, just so you know. Okay, so to start your business credit profile the right way, you've got to get approved with vendor accounts, again, as I mentioned, that report to the reporting agencies and that will give you credit when you have done. So we've got to make sure that the credit we're getting reports to one of these three: Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, and or Experian. Now, 10 plus of these accounts helps you get a really big payoff. But if you have 3 to 6 accounts, then you can start applying for the next tier. Okay, and once you've used your credit and show you're responsible, well, then you work to get your limits increased, and higher limits also will help you get higher future approval as well. So here's how this process works. We're going to get at least 5 vendor accounts. Once these vendor accounts report on our business credit report, then we can move to what's called the next tier. Now, we break this down into tiers because we just think it's easy to teach and it's easy to help our clients through the process by breaking it down into tiers. So we have tiers, for example, called a retail credit tier. A retail credit tier is retail credit. It's credit with almost every major retailer, from like Nordstrom to Macy's to Sam's Club to Costco to Office Depot to Staples to Lowe's to Home Depot. You get the idea. Like any retailer like Amazon or Walmart offers that kind of retail credit. Then you can move on to fleet credit, and this is offered through fleet sources for people that have fleets of vehicles, like Wex Fleet cards and gas cards at Chevron, Sunoco, Marathon, etc. Then you've got cash credit tier, and the cash credit tier is where you get a Visa card or a MasterCard, not credit lines, but you get credit cards with high limits without a personal guarantee and credit check. And in that final tier, you can also get auto financing without a personal guarantee or credit check. So that's kind of the order of what business credit building looks like after we get these vendor accounts reported. So remember, once we have them reported, that we have the 3 things we need: the trade lines, the credit profile, and the credit score. All 3 I told you are essential to get what you're actually looking for. If you're looking to build business credit for your EIN that's not linked to your social, without the guarantee, without the credit check, there's 3 things you need. We got to get accounts that report. Those are trade lines. Once they report, that gives us a credit profile. Then how we pay our bills determines our credit score. And with those 3 things, we can move through the other tiers, like the retail credit tier, the fleet credit tier, the cash credit tier. Okay, so that's really the object, is that what we're going to do is we are going to build the initial credit profile and score using the trade lines, the credit profile, or we're going to build the initial credit profile and score using trade lines. Then what we are going to do is we are then going to move on to the retail credit tier, and we have about 5 accounts reporting. When we have about 14 accounts reporting, we're able to get cash credit, Visa cards, MasterCard. Somewhere in between, with about 8 accounts reporting, we're able to get fleet credit. Okay, all without a personal guarantee, all without a personal credit check, all linked to your EIN and not linked to your personal social. I'll teach you how to make sure that you're not providing a credit check as we go here. So, how do you get a vendor to approve for EIN only? Well, most vendors aren't even going to ask you for a social. Of the vendors I'm going to ask you for today, a lot of them aren't even going to ask you for a social. Their applications won't even have a field for a social security number on there. If they do, well, then you should always try to apply by leaving your social security number blank. Just leave it blank and apply anyways. Now, if that means you have to call the application in or fax the application in instead of doing it online, okay, so be. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you. So some people get stuck and they say, "Look, I can't not enter the social because it won't let me submit the application without it." Well, then fax the application or call the application, but always try to leave the Social Security number field blank when you're applying for vendor credit first. Now, what you never want to do is put anything else in place of a social. That's illegal. Not an attorney. This isn't legal advice. I'm just telling you that you can't misrepresent your Social Security number. That's 2 felonies if you do. Okay, so what we want to do is leave the Social Security number blank. We can do that legally, okay, and then make them pull our business credit report and score for vendors. Now, you also have another option of ensuring there's no credit check or guarantee. So let me explain how this works and how this has changed. My training is always used to say the same thing. Never provide a Social Security number when you apply. When you supply your Social Security number, you're going to be giving a personal guarantee and credit check. Then in 2018, the U.S. government came out and passed a law to prevent money laundering. And what they did was they went to the banks and they said, "Bank, you have to verify the identification of every applicant you get that owns a business." So that means that you now have to get a Social Security number to verify the applicant's identity. So if you're dealing with vendors like Uline, they sell shipping supplies. We'll talk about them later. Uline's not going to ask for your Social Security number because Uline is giving you the credit. But if you go to apply for Office Depot, Office Depot does not issue their own credit card. Citibank is the one that underwrites Office Depot's credit card. So if you apply for an Office Depot credit card that's underwritten by a bank, the bank, Citibank in this example, is required by law to identify you as the owner of the business. So Office Depot is required by law to get your Social Security number to verify that you are the actual owner, that you actually exist. But it's identification purposes only. So that means if the application you're filling out online for Office Depot, for example, does not clearly state that they are only asking for your social to verify your identity, and if there's any kind of concern that you're going to give a credit check or guarantee, then you need to call them. You need to fax the application in. You need to tell them you'll only supply your social to identify yourself, not for a credit check or guarantee. So you have some choices here. With vendors, you can leave the Social Security number field blank and still be okay. With other credit that's issued by major banks like Citibank that underwrites Office Depot and Staples, they're going to ask for your social for verification. When that happens, you need to let them know you're not authorizing a guarantee or a credit check. So you've got to do one of those 2 things to get away from the personal guarantee and credit check. Now, if you don't do this, again, what they're going to do is they're going to pull your personal credit and make the approval decision based on this. They're also going to put an inquiry on your personal credit report. They're going to literally do exactly what I'm teaching you not to do. So, this is tricky because the government requires the identification, and some credit issuers actually use that as a way to kind of fool you into giving a credit check and guarantee even when you didn't want to. So I just told you the way around it. We want to avoid the inquiry. We want to avoid the personal credit check. Okay, so getting a vendor to pull credit under your EIN. Well, there's no law requiring you supply a social. As I mentioned, there are 2 federal laws which make it a felony to misrepresent your Social Security number or put anything in that field. I'm not an attorney, not legal advice. You can look that up. Just giving you a little bit of friendly advice. But you can legally leave that field blank. And again, the credit approval decision is then based on the quality of your business credit reports and scores. So when I come into a vendor and I leave the credit blank, they are going to pull my business credit report and make the decision based on that. If I call Office Depot and I say, "Hey, Office Depot, I want to apply for a credit card," I tried to online, but it wasn't clear. Like, it asked for my Social Security number. It looked like it was going to pull my personal credit, and I don't want that to happen. I'll give you my Social Security number to verify my identity, but I am not authorizing a credit check. I am not authorizing a guarantee. I want to apply for Office Depot credit card for my business without an actual personal guarantee or personal credit check. Okay, that's what I want you to do, is submit the application for that. Now, 1 of 2 things is going to happen. You're going to either get a novice on the phone in customer service that doesn't even know what you're talking about, which oftentimes happens. They're like, "What are you talking about, man? We can't even give you credit without a social. We don't even know." And those people, you're going to have to say, "Sir, ma'am, I know you might not get this, but I want you to submit my application without the Social Security number, without the credit check, and let them look at my business credit quality and make the approval decision based on that." Or the person may know right away what you're talking about. And in that case, they often give you a warning. They say, "Listen, just to let you know, like your chances of getting approved are going to be a lot better if you actually supply a personal credit check. Like if you let us look at your personal credit, because they don't think that you know enough and are wise enough to have established business credit at that point. That's why they're telling you that. So what happens is when you call them and say, I know that, buddy. I appreciate that, man. Thanks for looking out for my best interest. I'll give you my social to identify me, but I will not authorize a personal guarantee. I will not authorize a personal credit check. Put in the application. They put in the application without the credit check. What happens now is they pull your business credit report. And what are they looking for? The three things I told you. Do you have an established credit profile? Do you have trade lines? Do you have an established credit profile? Do you have an established credit score? If you have those things, and here's the big kicker, probably one of the most important things I'm going to say. If you have enough trade lines to get approved for that source, then you will be able to get approved. It's all based on the number of trade lines you have. Here, let me show you what I'm talking about. Here's our system we call the Business Credit Builder. Okay, this is actually how we help our clients build business credit. This is not the theory. This is the actual physical process that we really help our clients through. Now, the reason I want to show you this is that you're going to see that the way that we help our clients build business credit, and we take about 3 years of a process you'll do on your own and condense it to 6 months. And here's how we do it. Because we tell you how many trade lines you need to get each level of account. So when it comes to getting approved, how many trade lines, how many accounts you have on your business credit reports determines if you'll get approved or you don't. So let me give you an example. If you have 10 trade lines, you can come in and get all this credit. You can get Office Depot, you can get Gimpler, you can get Sunoco and Exxon and Conoco and Speedway and BP and Sinclair and Sears and Lowe's and Amazon and a bunch of other stuff. Okay, but if you only had 7 trade lines, you would not get this credit. They would either not approve you, or they would approve you for a net account and not a revolving account. So let's say I go to Amazon here, which many people do, and I go to Amazon and I only have 3 trade lines and not 10. Then what's going to happen is Amazon very well might approve me on a net 30 account. Or let's use Lowe's as an example. Lowe's is a perfect example. So if I go to Lowe's, then I can come in and get approved for Lowe's, okay, because I'm pre-qualified here. Now, if I only have 7 trade lines with Lowe's, then what's going to happen is they're going to typically give me a net 20 account. But if I have the 10 trade lines I need, then I'm able to come in and get the revolving account. So the difference between being able to get approved for these accounts or not comes down to how many trade lines you have. So does this, time in business. So does revenue. So in a lot of cases, they're going to tell you you have a time and business requirement. They're going to tell you you have a revenue requirement. The reason for that is because you don't have enough trade lines. If you went and applied for Lowe's with 15 trade lines, you'd get the revolving account, even if you didn't have the time in business, even if you didn't have the actual revenue. So this all comes down to one thing. It all comes down to the number of trade lines that you have reporting. So if I go apply for Amazon and don't have enough trades, they're either going to deny me or give me a net account. If I do have enough trades, then they approve me based on my business credit quality, and I'm able to get approved regardless of my personal credit quality, regardless of my credit check, because again, there is no personal credit check, there is no personal guarantee in that case. But the key is that we have to have them base the decision on our business credit quality, not our personal credit quality. Okay, so getting initial credit is the hardest part because, again, majority of vendors do not report to the business credit reporting agencies, so we've got to find vendors that do, and that's the hard part because they're very limited. So the very first step we've got to do is we've got to ensure that our fundability is solid. I'm not talking about this during this webinar because I don't have a lot of time to dive into it. I might skim it here, okay, but you need to look at youtube.com/credit suite and just do a search for fundability, or just go to YouTube and search fundability. Because there's a whole process that has to take place before you get initial business credit, and it's all based on what is called fundability. If you don't build the fundability, then what happens is then you're not going to get approved. So let me give you a simple example. Well, I'll pull this back up again. If we look here at our business credit builder, then we see that there are accounts here. Let's just look at Lowe's again because we already looked at Lowe's. So some credit issuers have certain requirements. Lowe's, for example, has a requirement that you are listed with 411. Now, other ones like Home Depot might not have this requirement, but some will. So some require that you're listed with 411. Some will actually require that you have a personal or that you have a business address, not a personal address, okay, et cetera, et cetera. Some may actually come in and have a requirement that you have a business phone number set up that's toll free. They're all a little bit different, but they all have these different requirements that you must meet in order to actually get approved. Again, just one of the reasons our clients do this in 6 months versus 3 years. As you can see, we work with the underwriters and actually list the underwriting guidelines for every account so you know. But if you don't know the underwriting guidelines at every account because you don't have access to something like this, then you got to build the fundability. You got to build it all. You got to make sure your address is legit, your phone number is legit, it's listed with 401, all this other stuff. Too much stuff to cover today. But if you go to creditsuite or youtube.com/credit suite or just search fundability in credit and YouTube, you will find our training on fundability. You got to make sure that your basic foundation is solid. If you don't have it done, you're just not going to get approved. Like, you won't get a Walmart account if you use a personal credit report or if you use a personal address. You won't get a Lowe's account if your phone number is not with 401. There's all this credit you could have gotten that you won't be able to get because your fundability is not strong. Okay, so you got to build that first. Now, once you have the first 5 accounts, as I mentioned, then you move to retail credit. About 8 accounts, then you move on to fleet credit tier. About 14 accounts, then you report on to the cash credit tier. But you got to be careful here because some sources report monthly, some sources report quarterly. How do you know? You ask them. It's the simplest answer I can give you. Now, again, I'm not trying to self-promote, but again, this is why our clients are our clients, because we're actually sitting in here and we're answering that question for you. So we're coming in and we're telling you how often they actually report, so you know how often it takes to get your funding and how often each account reports. If you don't know that, you have to ask them because some will report quarterly, which will take them longer to show up in your business credit report. Why did that matter? Look at what I just showed you. You need 5 accounts to move on to retail credit. If I get 5 accounts today that report in a month, then next month, guess what I'm doing? I'm applying for retail credit. But if I come in today and I only get 3 accounts that report monthly and 2 accounts that report quarterly and I wait, then all of a sudden I need to wait 3 months to move on to retail credit. So how often they report, whether it's monthly or quarterly, is a really big deal when it comes to doing this process quickly, because you need to get monthly reported accounts to make sure that you actually can come in and be able to get them reported fast. Okay, so as I mentioned, 14 accounts or more reporting gets you a cash credit card, Visa card, MasterCard. One of the accounts at this point needs to have a $10,000 limit before you move on to Visa and MasterCards. So, as I did talk about with accounts, let me talk a little bit about payment experiences because this is also important. Remember, my goal today is not just to teach you how to do this. It's how to teach you how to do it fast. And so I'm giving you these tips that help you do it fast, not just do it. Okay, I'm helping you understand why our clients get results in 6 months and everybody else is waiting 2.5 to 3 years. This is one of the ways. Because I told you you need 5 accounts to move to the next step. What I didn't tell you is what you really need is 5 payment experiences. And the reporting of an account to 1 reporting agency is 1 payment experience. The reporting of an account to 2 reporting agencies is 2 payment experiences. So let me give you an example. If I come in here and I'm looking at, well, let's just go up. Let's just look at some more. We looked at a bunch of credit accounts here. Let's look at a bunch of others. So let's just use any of these accounts as examples. So if I want to come in and get an account here with, let's say, Sam's Club. Well, Sam's Club only reports to D&B. It's 1 payment experience. So that means that if I need 5 accounts that I get Sam's Club, I only get 1 reported account. Now let's say I come in and get Kanoko. Kanoko reports to all 3 reporting agencies. So if I get 1 account with Kanoko, then I get 3 payment experiences. Remember, I need 5 to move to the next step. So by getting accounts that report to multiple reporting agencies, like Chevron reports to D&B and Equifax, you can also see Thornton, Global Fleet, Racetrack all report to all 3. By getting accounts that report to multiple reporting agencies, I'm adding payment experiences faster, and it helps me expedite the business credit building. Okay, so here's some approvals so you can get an idea of what's possible here. These are all some recent approvals that have just come in here in 2020. So you don't think that these are things that are back from 2018, anything that's older. So you can see Dell 10,000. We can see all different Chase, Navy Federal Credit Union, Amex credit cards. We can see, Quill, Uline. We can see Home Depot here. There's a bunch of approvals here. National Pen, NAV, Strategic Network Solutions, Summa Office Supplies, Sunbelt Rentals. You can see all the kind of credit that people are actually able to come in here and get approved for. Here's Uline, Granger, Monopolizer Marketplace, Amsterdam's, Gimpler, Strategic Network Solutions. There's an approval for BP. Here's one person, and there you've got 28 cards so far, right? Fuelman Fleet, Dell, Chevron. These are all people that are following exactly the same system that I'm teaching you now, and these are the kind of real results they're seeing with their multiple credit cards that they have access to. So it just gives you an idea of what's possible when you start following this process the right way. Okay, so many retailers have a time and business requirement. Some have revenue requirements. But again, how many accounts you have reporting, the key to building business credit is getting a high number of these payment experiences that can compensate for revenue. That can compensate for time in business. If I go to apply for Staples right now, their application says I need 3 years time in business or $1 million in revenue. It says that. But if I went in with 15 accounts reporting to Staples and I had 7 months in business and $500 in revenue, I could still get approved. That's what they don't want you to know, is that the payment experiences you have really are what matters the most. So here's the vendor approval process. It's pretty much the same for all vendors. We're going to go to their website. We're going to find the items that we want. We're going to put those on our shopping cart. Then we're going to go to checkout, and there's going to be some similar option to what is called Invoice Me. Then we're going to complete the checkout. We're not going to give them payment details. And then we're going to get an email notice stating the item was shipped. That's how we know we were actually approved. We're going to pay the invoice as soon as we can after shipping. We don't want to ever pay before the item is shipped, or it will count as a cash transaction and never show on our business credit reports. A lot of people make that mistake. Okay, you don't want to make that mistake. Wait till after the item is shipped, and then you want to actually be able to monitor these accounts as they hit your business credit reports. You can go to creditsuite.com/monitoring. We are 90% cheaper than the bureaus. Okay, it's $24 a month to monitor your business credit report with us with all 3 reporting agencies. If you go to the bureaus itself, they are $250 a month. So I'm giving you the cheapest. We use NAV's program, but NAV even lets us undercut their own pricing. So we are the cheapest in existence for business credit monitoring because we want to make sure it's affordable for you to do this, or you're not going to be able to do this process the right way. So let's talk about these vendors. Let's talk about all 7. So we've got Uline. Now they sell shipping supply, packaging supplies, industrial supplies. They report to Dun & Bradstreet Experience. So remember, that counts as 2 payment experiences for us. Okay, so we get 2 payment experiences with them because they report to 2 reporting agencies. Now you have to have an EIN with the IRS to get approved. You need a business bank account. You need a DUNS number with Dun & Bradstreet. You can get that at creditsuite.com/DUNS. You don't even need to put the dashes in there. That's the quick link to get your free DUNS number. You need to spend $50 with them or they will not report the account. Now, if you did not do your fundability, if you didn't set up your fundability as you should, then they may make you place 1 or 2 orders before they approve you for credit. If you did your fundability the right way, you're probably going to get approved with no prepaid order. So just keep that in mind. And they offer net 30 terms. Uline is one of my favorite accounts to start building business credit because it's so easy to get. You can get approved at uline.com. Quill is my favorite account for business credit building because they have over 1 million items in their store. They sell office supplies, package. I mean, there's no way you can't go to Quill and find stuff you want to buy for your business. They report to Dun & Bradstreet. You need to have a Dun & Bradstreet Paydex score possibly, or your fundability in line in order to get approved without prepaid orders. Okay, they will also check your Experian business credit report. So what you're going to see about vendors is some vendors will approve you with no credit. Some, it's easier to get approved with if you already have established business credit, as I'm going to show you. So Quill might not be the first one you apply for. You may want to wait till 1 or 2 accounts you get first before you get to Quill, because it's easier if you have something with D&B and Experian to get approved with them. You've got to place your initial order with them. And again, if your fundability is in line, they can approve you right away. If your fundability is not in line, then they may make you actually place 3 orders before they'll actually approve you. They may even make you go through a 90-day prepayment schedule before they'll approve you. So this is why fundability becomes so important. Now, if you paid on time every month for the 3 months, then they would approve you for a net 30 account. But again, if you have your fundability set up, you can skip that step altogether and probably get approved right away without your prepaid orders with both Quill and with Uline. Granger. They sell hardware, power supplies. I buy batteries at Granger because I work in an office, so I don't need outdoor supplies. And so I buy, when I start building business credit, I start with batteries and I start with med kits, like medical kits, because I have employees and I have kids and they're all hurting themselves all the time. So you can never go wrong with first aid kits. First aid kits, batteries, all kinds of stuff they sell there, especially if you're in the outdoor business, then that works really well. They report to DMB. You need a business license, an EIN number, and a DUNS number to get approved with Granger, but definitely a very good account to get started with initial business credit building. Now, they may ask for additional business documentations for verification, such as your license, and if you have a license like that, you definitely want to supply it to them, because what happens is, what I found is that they'll approve you right away for a $2,500 credit line just because you have a business license. So if you have a license for your business, an occupational license, an industry-specific license, if you give that license to Granger, we find they approve everybody for $2,500 credit limits. But here's the key. They'll approve almost everybody for a $1,000 credit line. Okay, for over $1,000, they want to see that you have some accounts on your business credit report or bank references. That's why one of the fundability requirements is to set up your business bank account, because they're going to ask you for bank references. They're going to ask you for trade references, other people that you pay on time. And if you have those, then you're going to be able to approve for over $1,000, $2,500 if you have a business license. For less than $1,000, they'll approve almost anybody, especially if you have a business license. You can apply it over the phone or online at Granger.com. Remember, Uline, Quill, Granger, these aren't underwritten by banks, none of them. So you're going to be able to get approved. They're not even going to ask you for your social security number, okay? They're not even going to ask for it, so you don't even have to worry about that part with these kind of vendors. Hardware Express. Now, with Hardware Express, you can get a net 30 account. You have to have your DUNS number set up. I didn't talk about that today because that's part of fundability. Getting your DUNS number is part of fundability, but you can go to creditsuite.com/DUNS and get that. You need an EIN as well, okay? And you've got to have a business bank account. They're going to ask you for business bank references. They're not going to ask you to verify your bank account. They're just going to ask you for business bank references, and you can get a credit line for $500 to $25,000 initially with Hardware Express, net 30 accounts. Look, I mean, there's almost anything we could buy at Hardware Express. There's just no reason you can't find things that you need to buy there, and you can apply with them over the phone at 888-803-4469. That's 888-803-4469. Strategic Network Solutions, they offer technology training, tech support, all kinds of stuff in the tech industry. They report to Experian and CreditSafe. CreditSafe's an up-and-coming business credit reporting agency, so you start to hear me talk about them more and more as they become more popular. New businesses can get a credit limit of $1,000. Think about this, guys. We are starting to build business credit with $1,000 to $2,500 credit limits. How awesome is that? And then we go up to $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 shortly thereafter. Now, to qualify, you need an EIN. You need to have a good business entity. You need to have a business entity set up, your DUNS number, and a license if applicable. And you can get approved at STNTSOL.com. That's STNTSOL.com. That's short for STN is strategic. Now, I don't even know what it's short for. I always try to say what it's short for, but they came up with some crazy name. So STNTSOL to get approved with Strategic Network Solutions. Now, Wex Fleet. So you can get a car, you can get credit cards from Wex to repair maintained vehicles. These are basically for people that have fleets of vehicles. Okay, they're going to give you net 22, but they can extend it to net 30. You're going to need to supply your social because it's underwritten by a bank. Okay, you're going to have an EIN, phone number 411, and you're going to need a deposit of $500 unless you have trade lines reporting. So a lot of people ask me with fleet cards, why do I need a guarantee? Why do I need a $500 deposit? My answer is because you don't have enough trade lines reporting. You can get a Wex Fleet card without a personal guarantee, without a credit check, without a deposit if you have enough accounts reporting to them. If you don't have like 7 accounts reporting for or 8 accounts reporting for Wex payment experiences, then they may make you actually have a deposit of $500 and a personal guarantee. The other thing to keep in mind with Wex is that you need to know that you don't want to apply for multiple fleet cards at the same time because they're underwritten by the same bank. So what happens is if you apply for Wex and Kanoko and Sunoco and all these places at the same time, they think it's fraud and they will red flag your application as fraud, and then it's a nightmare to get it fixed. So my advice always is that if you apply for a fleet card, apply for one and then wait to get your decision, because if you don't, then it could be considered to be fraud, and then it's a nightmare to get that fixed. So only apply for one of these accounts at an actual time. This is very, very important. Summa Office Supplies quickly becoming one of my new favorite vendors for 2020. They sell office supplies, office products, all kinds of things along the line of running a business, running an office. Net 30 account, normal businesses get $2,000 limits. I'm giving you credit that starts at $1,000 to $2,000. And it's kind of funny because when coronavirus came around, we started having people show they were using their vendors to get cases of paper towels and cases of toilet paper. Everybody's cleaning out Walmart, and they're going to places like Summa, and they're going to places like Quill and Uline to buy all that kind of stuff. So a lot of things you could do with $1,000, $2,000 limits. They report to D&B and Equifax. It's 2 payment experiences. Minimum purchase of $75 to get them to report. Guys, look, I'm not trying at all to self-promote, but I need to show you this is why we exist as a company. I can give you all of this information for free, but if you don't know things like the minimum amount to get an account reported, then you're going to go spend money, wait for it to report, wait a month, wait 2 months, wait 3 months, and find out it's not going to report, and it slows down your process. So keep that in mind. This is why we help our clients get through this entire process to cash credit in 6 months, whereas it might take you 2 to 3 years. You just don't know this information on every account. And again, as I've already shown you in our system, all this information is available for every single account that you may get. Exactly the steps to get approved, the exact underwriting guidelines, where the account reports to, all the intricacies of how much money you need to spend, all of that information for every single account. We have relationships with all these underwriters from Toyota to Circle K is all available. It's just part of the way you expedite it. So with them, you're going to need to spend $75. You're going to need an EIN and an entity setup. You're going to need your business address to match everywhere. I call this congruency, meaning your website, your Facebook, your Yellow Pages, your Google My Business, your Bing, all that needs to have the address the same everywhere. You need to have your business license. You need, if applicable, business bank account. They're going to ask for references. You need to have your DUNS number as well to be able to get approved with Summa Office Supplies. So seems simple? Well, look, here's the matrix we use to build client business credit for our clients. Okay, I don't like it when gurus come in and take very complicated processes and make them look really simple. It's not a simple process. This is what's actually involved to build business credit. There's over 125 factors, and you could just see here as we come in and zoom on some of these things, like what's on your LexisNexis credit report, right? The industry sector that you're in. Okay, all these kind of factors tie in to whether you'll get approved or how much you'll get approved for. These are the kind of things that our team focuses on for our clients to make sure our clients get insane results quick, because we're looking at all 125 of these factors. Here's an idea of some of the questions that we get along the way. And these are just some of the questions that are in our group. And again, I don't want you to believe that this is necessarily a very easy process, because people ask things all the time about, hey, how much credit line do we get? How often do they report? Do I need my business address? Can I get approved as a starter company? What about this vendor? Do they still report? Who do they report to? I mean, these are just as an idea of about 3 days worth of questions in our Facebook group. Okay, we literally get thousands of questions because a lot of people aren't really sure of how to do it on their own. But here's kind of an idea of what the end result for you is once you actually go through this process. And here's one of our clients, Herman. With Credit Suite, your one-on-one consultants call you within 24 hours of signing up. They call you at least 5 times a week in the first 2 weeks, okay, of actually signing up. But I'm having all kinds of problems in the first 2 weeks, and then after that, even though it's been several years, I'm still with them. Let me do one more time here, and I think my mouse will maybe work with me, maybe. Well, not. All right, my one-on-one consultant still calls me every Wednesday without fail, and that's absolutely incredible. My favorite line of credit I got using Credit Suite's a $10,000 Amazon card I used to purchase things low and sell high on different marketplaces. I was also able to get $40,000 Amex business card. None of my accounts show up on my personal credit report, so if I max them out, it doesn't hurt me personally. So I was able to purchase 2 properties in Cleveland, Ohio, and it's been a blessing. Herman's like many of our clients. He's using business credit to run online businesses. He's buying stuff cheap, wholesale. He's selling at retail. He's coming in buying properties, flipping properties. He's got 2-3 businesses that he's running using business credit to fuel the whole thing. So if we can help you along the way, there's a lot of different ways that we can potentially help you. With us, as I actually showed you a little bit of, you get access to your own business finance suite 24/7 that helps you walk through the process of building business credit. We can do this for you in English and or Spanish. Our advisors help hold your hand and walk you through every step of the process as well. We help you with all fundability, setting up your name, your entity, your EIN, your home address, your toll-free, your phone number, getting it listed with 411, helping your website get it set up, your email, making sure you have the licensing necessary requirements to meet all the lending and credit issuers checks. We help you get set up with a bank account, the merchant account. We get you set up with Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, Experian, get your DUNS number, get your BIN number with Experian. Okay, we help you dispute any inaccuracies and fix your business credit. Plus, you're getting the largest supply of vendors. I just showed you 7 today. Our vendors will give you SEO services. They give you website building services. They give you marketing services, phones, t-shirts. We have vendors that do all those things that help you build business credit, because here's what happened. We got so frustrated that there were so few vendors that we started going to really good companies and helping them get the ability to report. The most recent one, remember that credit line hybrid? When you pay your invoice for the credit line hybrid, we helped them get the ability to report to Experian. So now paying the invoice itself counts as another trade line. So this is our specialty. We help people get the ability to report to the business credit reporting agencies. And then a lot of these vendors, I promise our partners never to share publicly. They're all available in our back office. So it gives you the largest supply of vendors, many of which you have not seen today. The largest supply of retail credit, fleet credit, without the personal guarantee and credit check, Visa cards, MasterCards, auto financing. Okay, all of that without a personal guarantee and credit check is available through our finance suite, and our advisors help you with it as well. And then don't forget, we can get you funding like credit line hybrid, as well as many other kind of funding with interest rates as low as 2% on a lot of credit lines, loans. We're even doing a lot to help people even with SBA loans as well. And if you ever want to work with us, especially if you're doing it through this Friday, today is to give you an idea of when this is through May 12th, then if you say, look, I want to work with you guys, it's actually cheaper to work with us than do it on your own. We help you get your DUNS number for free. We save you on credit monitoring. We save you on 411 listing. We give you free valuations to see how much your business is worth. There's so much stuff we give you for free that it's well worth what you even pay with us to invest. But if you are enrolling through this Friday, then we're going to help you save an extra $500 in enrolling with us. We're going to give you a 30-minute initial phone call with our business advisors. We're going to give you 3 months of business credit monitoring. That's $600 with the Bureau. Now we added Equifax, so it's now $750 worth of saving because you don't have to pay it. What I mean is, if you go and do this on your own and go to the reporting agencies, you could pay $750 for what you're getting with us for free for the first 90 days. It's only $24 a month after that. We're giving you a full valuation report to see how much your business is worth and what you could do to make it worth more. 28-page report. You'll spend $600 to get a business valuation. We give you that for free. And we've got this cool widget we use on our website that pulls all of our reviews into one place. Facebook, Google, like so many places people could leave reviews. It pulls them all into one place. We've loved it. So we're giving that $300 widget away as well. So $4,000 of additional bonuses if you are interested in working with us that we're giving you through Friday as well. All you have to do is to schedule a consult or give us a call. Now also, we will work with you on payments. We help to ensure that your payments are affordable. We'll customize a payment plan for you. We have ways to get you the money you need and then buy. A lot of our clients, we help you get credit lines. Then we help you use the credit line to even buy to get away from the personal guarantees and credit check. And we've even got some off-site programs that you're just not going to find on our website as well. So bottom line, if you want to work with us to help build business credit, it's cheaper to work with us than do it on your own, and we will make it affordable. Even if you look at our website and say that's not affordable, just call us. Tell us what you can do. We have all kinds of off-website programs we have. For example, we just rolled out a program called our Startup Accelerator. It's $200, and it helps you through everything you need to start and grow a business. This is stuff that when you call us, you find out about because you don't even know. It's not even available on our website. So our Startup Accelerator is one of our newest test products that we have roll out, and we're testing prices. But right now, for example, it's only $200, and we teach you everything you need to start and grow a business. How to set up your company name, your entity, how to set up your bank account, to establish your mission, your core values, your purpose, setting up what to sell, pricing your product, your demographic information, creating your customer's avatar, creating your business plan, collecting your money. money. Okay, everything to do with merchant accounts and bank accounts and how to build a team, how to hire virtual assistants. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that, for example, that we don't have on our website, you don't even know about unless you're calling our team. So how to onboard, train, non-competes, how to market. Okay, everything in our Startup Accelerator is a brand new product we just released. So that's the kind of things we can introduce you to, so if you give us a call. And again, as I told you, if you do, because you did stay to the end, then we're giving you all this as well. If you give us a ring, we're going to make sure you get a playback of this actual webinar, or you can schedule a consult. You're going to get 30 days of business credit modeling with Experian, Dun & Bradstreet, and now Equifax. And then a no-cost consultation where we'll do that fundability check for you. We'll see how fundable your business is, talk to you about all the funding you can get now, do a free search with the reporting agencies, amongst many other things. So again, all of that happens if you give us a ring. And I'm going to make sure, as I told you, that I will stay and answer any questions that you have. So I'm going to make sure that I get to those questions right now. And you can also give us a call, and we'll have some questions as well. So I have a lot of thanks, a lot of awesomes, a lot of good information. Thanks, everybody. Okay, most credit card agencies do not report to business reporting agencies. Yes, that's it. And we talked about a lot of the vendors that did. What happens if I gave my social on my Amex business application? Will that kill me with other lenders? It won't, but more than likely they put an inquiry on your credit report. What matters most, Rebecca, is you need to see where the account was actually reported. Okay, so you need to call your business credit reporting agency, or you need to call Amex, and you need to just ask Amex where exactly they do report. So if you call them, that will help. That will help you there. So Rebecca, just call them and ask where they report, but it won't kill you with other lenders. You just really need to make sure it's not reporting on your personal credit reports, and you can only figure that out by calling and asking. Okay, are the slides? Okay, let me see here. So, and somebody says you need to stay closer to your mic. The audio drops constantly as you move. I appreciate that. Hopefully that got a little bit better. Okay, so you are moving. Okay. I appreciate that, guys. I will get better at that. I have a headset on when I'm on YouTube, and then I have a microphone I need to stand in front of, and I have like ADHD, so I'm like all over the place. So sometimes I move around. So my apology for that, but I will do better next time. What credit score do you need for that? The credit line hybrid is 680. Daryl says my credit's 557 on fixed VA income, and I only have Quill reporting and no income with business that I could call. Working on my credit will see about getting 2 more business vendors. Yes, these vendors I gave you will help you with that as well. How is it different from using a credit like Divvy? I'm not sure what Divvy is, Kayla. You're going to have to give me more insight on that. Can you deliver? I tried to seek capital and they only got me $20,000 on personal credit card based on my personal credit scores. No business credit was approved. Pat, Seek doesn't deal with business credit. We actually, now Seek is now referring to us corporate credit, which is without the guaranteeing credit check, and they can only get you approved for what we call the credit line hybrid program. And if they only got you approved for $20,000, it's because your current credit limit on your revolving accounts weren't very high, or your utilization was too high, or you had too many inquiries. But yes, we can help you with the corporate credit side. That's not what Seek does. Seek deals with the credit line hybrid program. They don't deal with all the corporate credit programs, so hopefully that makes sense. And we gave you a list of the vendors as well. Replay, yes, we will send you a replay if you stayed to the end of the webinar. Okay, I've been using Credit Suite for over 3 hours, and all you have to do for over 3 hours is then just give us a ring. If you are a client of ours, then just reach out to us, or we'll reach out to you. And then again, the beautiful thing in your finance suite is right here in the back office. You go to contact us, email us, contact or phone or email us, call us, or chat, and then we will give you any support that you need, and our team will be reaching out to you as well. What about Amazon Business Credit? You can get them when you have at least 5 payment experiences reporting. Okay, I'll be able to get the free reports mentioned in the webinar. No, yes, just talk to your partner success team. If you talk to partner success, we can help you get those reports. Yes, all of this works for a nonprofit. Would it be good to get a net 30 now? Yes. I mean, if you can get credit now and it not report for 30, 60, 90 days, then yeah, that's going to be hugely beneficial. And yes, if you attended the webinar, we will send you a playback of the actual presentation. Can I pay for being added as an authorized user on an existing business account? A business bank account's not going to help you. Revolving credit, you just have to be careful of that. If you're buying trade lines and the bureaus know it, they will shut you down. They will shut down your credit reports. So you have to be careful. So hopefully that helps you. For Summa office supplies, no, that's not. I don't know why that was listed on the slide, but if you just if you email or you look up Summa office supplies, you will be able to find their website. For some reason, I had the wrong website on the slide. How do I get business address? If you have a home-based business, you can get a virtual address. You can go to creditsuite.com/virtual. If you go to youtube.com/. Credit Suite, we've got all kinds of teaching on fundability where we go through this as well. Will this PowerPoint be emailed? It won't, but if you give us a call, our PowerPoints are available for our partners. If you're a partner with us, you're offering business credit financing, we have an arrangement with our partners where we don't give out our PowerPoints to our non-partners, so that way our partners can use them for marketing as well. So yes, if you're a partner with us, we absolutely give out the PowerPoints. If not, that's okay. We'll still give you a playback, just not the actual PowerPoint. Anthony says, I don't want to do business with the SBA whatsoever. I would use alternative lenders instead. I don't blame you there. SBA debacle over PPP loans and EIDL loans has been an absolute mess, as many of us have known. Carmen says, what happens if you've been doing business with several vendors? Can they be added to your business credit report? Typically not. Again, as I mentioned, most vendors don't report to the business credit reporting agencies. The reason for that, Carmen, is that they don't report because they don't have enough accounts to report. Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, Experian, they all require like 500 accounts a month be reported in order for you to report to them. So a lot of vendors don't have enough volume to report those accounts. You can ask them if they'll report those accounts, but more than likely they won't. You need to get credit with vendors that actually do. What do you recommend to get an 800 number and list it on 411? You could use Ring Central for the toll-free number or Freedom Voice. And then with 411, you can go to a place called List Yourself. List Yourself for that service charges $30 a month. That's free for our clients. We list you at 411 at no cost. Hey, I'm on a monthly plan, but I'd like to take advantage of this deal. Yes, you will be able to. Anita, just give us a ring or since you attended, tell them you stayed to the end. Tell them what we actually discussed here with the discount, and we will apply that for you. I have a Granger, Summa, and Uline account. Can I now apply for Home Depot? You need 5 payment experiences. You would need to look at your Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, Experian credit report to see if you have 5, and if you do, you can apply for Home Depot. But you'll probably that's what it comes down to. Is you need to have at least 5 accounts to get Home Depot. Can I get any funding with existing doing business as? You can get business credit. The rest of funding, whether credit line or loans, is going to be based on your cash flow credit or your collateral. And somebody says, do you help nonprofits? We absolutely do. We have a lot of funding and business credit we can help with nonprofits. Do we need an EIN? Even if we hire outside vendors, you need an EIN. Business credit is built for your EIN, not your DUNS. So you have to have an EIN for any of this to work, or you won't have the actual number. Think of it like this. You can't build a consumer credit report without a social. You can't build a business credit report without an EIN. Carmen says, Dun & Bradstreet says you can add vendors to your business. You can. You can add vendors to your Dun & Bradstreet business credit report. It's at a pretty hefty cost with them. It's like $150 a month to do it. But let me give you some heads up. Most accounts can't report to D&B. They won't report anything they choose not to report. They won't report bank credit. They won't report lease payments, rent payments, utility payments. None of that reports to D&B. So if you think about what you actually do have that you pay on a monthly basis, what you're going to realize is that most of the stuff you have won't report to D&B. And if you only build credit with D&B, you're going to have a problem because a lot of other places use Experian and Equifax. That's why Dun & Bradstreet's credit builder just really isn't worth the money that they're going to have you pay. What happened with Wells Fargo Secure Card? Is it part of the process? We removed that because they stopped reporting. So this is the way it is, and that's a great question. You know, whenever we work with the underwriters at all these institutions, so when we know something changes, we immediately remove them from our training for our actual clients. They immediately see that change. The answer to your question is Wells Fargo stopped reporting. That's why we removed them, and I don't talk about them anymore. And Divvy is a corporate credit card and expense platform. I'm not too familiar with that. I don't know if that's an account in our back office or not, Kayla, but give us a call. We could probably answer more questions. I need my advisor team to help me with that. There's a lot of information that I might not know, and then I go to my advisor, so I cannot answer that question. I'm not sure, but if you give us a ring, we will get your question answered with our advisor team. If I already have an Amazon line of credit and I used it and paid it on time for 5 months, is it most likely reporting? The only way to know, yes, is the answer, but it might be on your personal credit reports. The only way to know is to check your business credit reports. Go to creditsuite.com/monitoring. I mean, you know, it's $24 and you're able to check all 3, and that'll tell you that. Thank you for all the info. Thanks for tuning in. I have about trade lines. I have about 12 trade lines. D&B has me at 79. Experian has me around 30. Why such a discrepancy? Because some accounts report to different reporting agencies. So if you have a 30 with Experian, there's many reasons for this. D&B's credit scores are based only on how you pay. Experian's credit scores take into account other things like utilization. Okay, so that's part of it. And you have some accounts report to D&B, some accounts report to Experian. So you'd have to look at your business credit reports to figure that out. But I would imagine it has to do with either your utilization being high on accounts report to Experian or possibly going a little bit beyond the days, beyond terms. Remember, in the business world, you are late. Even if you are a day late, you are reported that way. So those would be the two things I check. I get my business credit reports to take a look at those, Anita. And Romaldo says, I already have an Amazon. Oh, wait, I already answered that. Is credit line hybrid process I go through with Credit Suite? Yes, we can help you through that process if you have good credit. You said, is credit line hybrid a process I go through with Credit Suite? It depends on you. Like, our process is credit line hybrid is an option, but it's not a must because a lot of our clients don't have good credit scores. A lot of our clients have very bad credit scores. So credit line hybrid is an option with us, but it's not a requirement. So hopefully that answers your question. What if your debt ratio is too high? Debt ratio really isn't a factor when it comes to business credit building. What if you already have an Amazon Net 30 but want to later get a credit account? Is that possible? Yes, that's possible. Hey Ty, who do you recommend to get an 800 number? And I don't answer that question. And can you guys still help? Yes, we can. Mike says, okay, I have a student loan with the Department of Education that's on a deferment, but I also had a loan directly from the college, but they sent me to collection and then charged off because I never paid anything. How do I get them to delete that charge off? Well, look, you're talking about personal credit. That's not my specialty. Okay, I can tell you in the past that it's a process of disputing, but I'm not your guy for that. What I would do is I would hire a credit repair company to help me. That's legitimate. That's what I would do, but because I'm just not the best. I could tell you need to dispute it with the credit issuer and the bureaus themselves, but as of specifically how to remove student loans, I'm not the best guy for that because I deal with commercial credit, not consumer. Aaron says, I have a DUNS number, EIN, a business bank account. I just need help on getting the business credit. If you went through today, you now know the vendors you can use to be able to succeed. You've got to set up your fundability first. I told you many times through this where to go to get that done with information that we have. Then follow these steps to get vendors and you'll be good. I have a business for 2 years but never started. Yes, you can still build business credit with that if you followed the steps we talked about. I've been approved for nonprofit by state, but I haven't had the federal yet, so I don't have an EIN number yet. Well, you can get an EIN number whether you're profit or nonprofit. I don't think no, it doesn't matter into that at all. The EIN number, if you have an entity set up, you can get your EIN. So as long as you set up your entity with the Secretary of State, then you can be able to go and get an EIN, whether you're designated for profit or nonprofit, doesn't matter. I'm a newbie real estate investor. Congrats. I own 2 properties free and clear in Memphis. I need to pay some bills. I have an EIN, DMB number, but no business credit. I'd like enough credit to buy another property with business credit help. You got a ways to go, Mario. Remember, in order to get to cash credit, you need 14 accounts reporting on your business credit reports. So you probably realistically have 6 months ahead of you of business credit building before you get to that point. And that's the pace our clients take. If you're doing this on your own, it could take you years to get there. So if you want to expedite it, give us a call. We can help you with the fastest way to build business credit. Also, consider the credit line hybrid. It's the #1 program that we use to help real estate investors like you. And Matthias says, is an LLC required to start business credit building? You don't need an LLC. You need an entity. Any entity will do. But if you say I have an EIN, so you need an EIN. If you have a DBA, then you're a sole proprietor. You can build business credit with a sole prop as a DBA and an EIN, but you need to be careful because as a sole proprietor, you'll always be liable for what you do. The only way to get around that is to get a different entity set up like an LLC or a corporation. I got late for the webinar. Well, you can watch the playback on YouTube or just give us a call and we can actually talk to you about how to get a copy of the playback. What if you have a business license, a DUNS number, and an office location, but my personal credit charge? It doesn't matter. Everything I've shown you today, this will still work. I've even shown you how to get around the personal credit check. Hello, I'd like a playback of it. If you're in the webinar and you stayed to the end of the webinar, we will send you a playback. If you're on YouTube, you can watch it in its entirety. If you want a playback, you can also give us a ring at 877-600-2487, and we can help you there as well. Several of you are asking for that. Do you offer assistance to become a partner? We do. We offer you assistance to be able to become a partner and offer business credit and financing as a service. George says we purchased a tractor trailer using personal credit, but I was reported on my Paydex according to the lender. The vehicle has been paid off for 2 years now. Can that be added? You can't add it. You're probably, well, you could try Dun& Bradstreet, but it's probably not going to be added. But I would check your business credit reports to see if it did actually report. Did you give the cost? I missed it. We have multiple programs for us. You can go to creditsuite.com or give us a ring when it comes to pricing, because it depends on if you want to be a partner, if you want like a funnel, all that. If you want to build business credit on your own, if you want to work with our advisors, there's many different options out there. Do you fund for startups? We do many programs, including Credit Line Hybrid. Can you build business credit if your name is an EIN? You can, but again, you really want to get away from a sole proprietorship for reasons I just answered. If I already have an Amazon line of credit and used it and paid it on time for 5 months, is it most likely? Oh, we already answered that question. When I currently check my credit, almost nothing shows up, but for over 30 years, my credit was perfect. Then 2008 happened, unemployment, but most of all, my good credit for over 30 years does not show up. On your personal credit report, I can't answer that, Mike. That, you got to get credit that reports to the personal credit reporting agencies. That's usually pretty simple. If you've got credit that you think should report and it's not, you got to call the credit issuer. But keep in mind, in the business world, most credit doesn't report. Hello, Oswald. Paul says, thank you, saved myself some money. Great, that's my goal here. How do I get these 30 good years? Okay, and I answered that, Mike, already. Jerry says, just to verify, you recommend applying for vendors that report. For example, if a vendor reports to 2, this counts at 2 payment streams. If a vendor reports to 2 reporting agencies like Dun & Bradstreet and Experian, that would be multiple payment experiences. And Ronaldo says, I have a Navy Federal Credit Union card. Does Navy Federal Business Credit Card report to DB? Navy has multiple credit cards, but yes, they do report to the reporting agencies. Whether they report or not depends on the kind of card you got. You have to call Navy to ask them that. Marquita says, how can I get something off my business credit? I just gave you, of course, if you give us a call, that's part of our process. We help our clients with that. It's too much to cover here, but if you go to youtube.com/credit suite and you just you type in, or even go to YouTube and type in like business credit disputing or fixed business credit, you'll see our training video that will teach you exactly how to do that. Andrea says, I joined Credit Suite over a year ago. Business credit report review. We can give you, I don't know, if you work with us, Andrea, then you will get a business credit report review in the very first call or anytime you call us. So just give us a ring. If you're a client, just go to contact us at the top right of your portal, and then we will do a business credit report review with you anytime you want to do a report review with you. Courtney says 609 Credit Repair is a good source for fixing personal credit. Noel says, so we have to call for PowerPoint playback. Nope. If you are attending the webinar, you will get a playback of the webinar. We don't give out the actual PowerPoint, okay, but you will get a playback of the webinar if you attended to the end of the webinar. Do the banks know this process of credit line hybrid? Yes, it depends on the source. The answer is yes. The credit lines are issued by banks, and yeah, the funding sources we work with work very closely with the banks. They have relationships with the underwriters of the banks. The banks are very familiar with this process. But if you go into Bank of America, if you go into Chase, if you go into Wells Fargo, they're not going to do it because, their credit line hybrid to work, you're getting credit with multiple banks. So Bank of America is not going to help you get approved for a Wells Fargo credit card, and Bank of America is not going to help you get approved for more than one Bank of America credit card. So that's the problem in those cases. And Mike says, I apply with you guys. If you come in and build business credit with us, Mike, you're going to start building vendor credit. It's going to take 30 to 60 days for that to report. Then you're going to start getting retail credit. It's going to take you about 6 months to get to a Visa card or MasterCard that you're using to buy properties. And don't forget, Credit Line Hybrid, we can get you that in about a month's time. So it depends on which way you go. So hopefully that answers your question. Okay, how long is playback available? Just if you attended the webinar, you'll get it at the end. If you want to give us a call, we can give it to you as well. Can you set up a business entity for a Puerto Rican company? You can. You just need to have a business set up in an EIN in the United States. When is your book available and any recommendations? You can get my books online if you just go to Amazon and type in business credit, or just type in my name, which my name is, I think my name is somewhere here. Let me see. It's right. Nope. Well, my name is Ty Crandall. It's not on there. But if you just search Business Credit Decoded, then you'll be able to find that book anywhere online, especially Amazon. Is there any real legit places to purchase trade lines? No, there's not. If you buy trade lines and you buy them from a company that the reporting agencies know, they just shut down your credit profile. I never recommend buying trade lines. And everybody says, great info. Okay, great info. Where's your book? My book's available. You can always go to my website too, tycrandall.com, or just search Business Credit Decoded. But again, if you look on our YouTube channel, that also has a lot of very accurate, up-to-date information as well. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Look, I answered all the questions in the webinar, and I've got probably a bunch on YouTube. I'm going to get to a few more. But look, if you just give us a ring, we're going to help you. We will answer any questions that you have. I'm actually about 30 minutes late to Facebook. So I'm going to sit here for about 5 more minutes, answer some questions, and then I want to go ahead and wrap up. So Tyshawn says, I spoke to a salesperson and said there was no payment plans, but just what was on the website. There is, and if you give us a ring, we can definitely work with you. We're just going to actually ask you about what's affordable with your budget, and we will figure it out. I'm not sure who you might have spoke to where that was the case, but just give us a ring. We will help you through that. It just comes down to affordability. We've got a couple different programs that may work. How much? Okay, I talked about that. And the price, again, a lot of people are asking about price. It depends, guys. If you go to creditsuite.com and look at pricing, it just depends. Our pricing varies, whether you want to be a partner, whether you want to just enroll with us to build business credit. We've got a month-by-month program you could pay if you don't want to work with our advisors. So it kind of depends on what program you're looking for. But you can check our website. Our website has that, and we've got a lot of affordable payment options, other stuff that's off our website by giving us a call as well. Talk about, and Tyshawn says, no, there's not. We can work with you on a customized payment plan beyond what's on our website. Okay, do you offer assistance to become a Credit Suite partner? We do. Credit Suite, Credit Safe is free. You can add a lot with Credit Safe. There's a lot of stuff you can do with Credit Safe right now just because they're trying to get established, and so they make it pretty easy. Can you build business credit using your name's EIN? Yes, you can. Will you still work with me if I have D&B, EIN, virtual office already? Yes. Those are basic fundability steps, nothing to do yet with still building business credit. So, I told you I'd stay and answer your questions. I'm going to wrap this up because I'm about 30 minutes late to my Facebook Live. But if there's any other things that we can help you with along the way, just give us a ring, 877-600-2487, creditsuite.com/consult. We make it really easy. A lot of people are asking about investment options. If you're enrolling with us to buy or to actually get business credit, our core program is $3,000. Typically, you're getting a 20% discount here, which brings it down to $2,500, and it's usually like $600 a month. But we will work with you on affordable payment plans. So a lot of people have that question. We also have partner programs where you can offer business credit and financing as a program. If our normal core program is too expensive for you, that's okay. Give us a call. If the payments are too high, give us a call. We will work with you on an affordable payment plan. We even have what I call off-site pricing because we have programs where you're not even working with our advisors, and it's a little bit more and it's a lot more affordable than if you are working with our advisors. So there's so many options we have for you. Even our Startup Accelerator, which is a great program we just released that you're not going to find on our website. The key is to give us a ring at 877-600-2487 or schedule a consult at creditsuite.com/consult. Okay, and my last question here is I have an EIN, but my company's dissolved. Yes, you do have to restart that company or get a new one. You have to have a legal, legitimate entity and an EIN to build business credit. Remember, guys, I did not talk about fundability today. We're about an hour and a half in. Didn't have time. But if you go and search fundability on YouTube, you'll see that we have all that information on fundability as well. So I'm going to give us a ring. If you'd like to get started by Friday, you're getting like $4,000 worth of bonuses, some really, really, really cool stuff, including 90 days without paying for credit monitoring, $500 discount with us, as well as getting an awesome valuation report on your business, a cool widget that goes on your website to combine a lot of your reviews. Talk to our advisors for at least 30 minutes, and then our advisors will call you 5 times the first 5 days when you're working with us, and we'll call you consistently after that and regularly. You even saw one of our reviews many months after enrolling. He's already got a 40,000 Amex, 10,000 Amazon. He's still talking to our advisors to help through the process. We can help take 2.5-3 years and condense it to 6 months, and every question that's being asked here are the exact same questions that our advisors help you with. So then that way you don't have to stumble and have all these mistakes and questions and take years to get done what can get done in 6 months. And remember, it's cheaper to work with us than work on your own. 411 listing, trying to get a DUNS number, paying Dun & Bradstreet. Somebody asked about Dun & Bradstreet's credit builder program. None of that stuff is needed. Our program includes all of that stuff, and when you look at it, you're going to see it's cheaper to work with us than do this on your own as well. And Tyshawn says, I tried to call and couldn't get reached. Guys, keep in mind, I have, I don't know how many. I've got YouTube and I've got my webinar. My webinar numbers aren't here. But when I do something like this, it's very possible that I've got 800 to 1,000 people here. And imagine everybody's calling at once. So if you don't reach our team, just leave a voicemail. Our team will call you right back. You can always schedule a time to get called, or you can give us a ring. But whenever I do a presentation like this, just keep in mind I have hundreds of people calling our number at the same time. So if you leave a voicemail, our team will call you back. almost always within an hour. And keep in mind that you have through Friday to get those discounts and bonuses. So thanks everybody. I'm going to wrap this up. Have a great day today. If you have any questions, want to get started, want a free consultation to get your reports for free, see how fundable your business is, see if you're set up with the reporting agencies now, give us a ring at 877-600-2487. That's 877-600-2487, or schedule a consult at creditsuite.com/consult. Thanks everybody. Oh, and well, there's a couple more questions, but I already got those done. Somebody asked if you have to be a U.S. citizen. You have to have a U.S. business. You don't have to be a citizen in the United States. And one more question. Noel says, I got approved for a Chase Inc. Unlimited for $18,000. They pulled my personal credit, but it's not reporting my personal. Does that mean it's guaranteed? If they pulled your personal credit, yes, you didn't follow the steps we talked about here. It probably does mean it's personal guaranteed. You have to call them, Noel, to find out where it's reporting. Thanks, everybody. I'm going to wrap it up. If we can help you along the way, give us a ring at 877-600-2487. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.